As one enters, there are 9 windows on the right side of the sanctuary space, presenting the Genesis account of creation, the song of God. Starting with the central window, our story begins with the simple phrase in Hebrew, "And God said." The panels open out in both directions as open arms, welcoming us to the worship space and into God's creation. These windows are located on what is, historically, the cantorial side of the bema, presenting the idea of creation as the song of God. Across the 3 central panels are splinters of spectrum colors. Let there be light. The left window depicts the distinction of firmament and heavens. A line of red, the thread of life, leads down to the newly formed earth. In the right panel, the swirling movement indicates the separation of the light from the darkness. The set of 3 windows on the right proceed from left to right, away from the central panels. In the first, we see the lights of the heavens, providing signs and signaling the passage of time in the intersecting cycles of the sun and the phases of the moon. The stars in the sky are reflected in the flowing waters below. The central window shows the creation of the birds of the air and the fish of the sea. The pair of doves flies forth across the heavens. The far right window presents our participation in God's creation. The directive to be fruitful and multiply is illustrated in the musical notes becoming flocks of birds and schools of fish. The Torah scroll unrolling behind these images indicates the unknowable beginning and end of God's plan. The trio of windows closest to the bema proceeds from right to left, again moving out from the central theme. In the first panel is the 3rd day of creation, with the earth bringing forth vegetation, each according to their seed. Next, the earth brings forth living creatures, according to their kind, the peaceable kingdom from which we all came and to which we will return. In the final window, a flowing stream separates a family as God asks the question, "Where is your brother?" In the Hebrew, "Where be your brother?" which is not just location, but also condition. Are we our brother's keeper? Above and behind the ark, 10 panels form a mosaic as a backdrop to the Sabbath readings from the 5 books of Moses, and embrace the gatherings of the congregants. Utilizing the same glass choices that were used in the people, women, grandfathers, etc., in the 18 large panels below, the 10 windows above represent all those who have gathered before us. These mosaics can be read as an abstract gathering of persons behind the service, just as the gathering of persons who are participating in the service. Entreated with this history, we carry the traditions of our celebrations, and, being present, we pass them on to the generations who will gather after us. The 9 windows on the left side of the sanctuary, traditionally the rabbinic side, illustrate the many relationships in our lives, to God, to Torah, and to each other. Behind and connecting everything is the Torah scroll, weaving around our gold and blue ribbons representing both the finite and the infinite. These ribbons, weaving with Torah, are the Nishtar lines, representing Tzedekим Nishtarim, the hidden righteous people who hold it all together for us. The rabbinic panels proceed from right to left, leading away from the bema. Our relationship to God is reflected in the first set of windows, closest to the ark. God asks Adam, and us by extension, in the Hebrew, where be you? The question infers both location and condition. Where are we in our relationship to God? A hidden eye, closed, reminds us to open our eyes to God. Next, we see righteousness rewarded in the story of Noah, with the ark, animals, and the promise in the rainbow. Obedience is rewarded in the binding of Isaac. There is the altar of sacrifice with wood, the Moab dagger, and then the ram caught in the bush. In this third last window is also the promise of further reward with the stars coming down from heaven as a sign that ye shall be a great nation. The center panels celebrate our relationship to Torah. The brightness of the burning bush becomes the blood on the doorpost and leads us to the women dancing and celebrating the way up to Sinai, which extends throughout the trio of windows. In the center, the hands reaching for Torah descend from Sinai, just as Torah was passed from Moses to the select, to the priests, the rabbis, and on to each of us. The family studies what has been passed down, and we see all ages engaged in the reading and listening. Finally, we see the pure joy of the flickering temple lights and the grandfather dancing with the children. More than obligation, there is joy in our faith that was given to us and that we hold for future generations. The final panels present the people, Israel. The first window echoes the rabbi's speculation that more than Israel keeping the Shabbat has kept Israel. We see the unmatched candlesticks, the challah, and the stitched cloth. The middle panel is the most troubling of all. Along with the Passover Seder plate and Elijah's cup, the Shabbat candles become the twin towers of the World Trade Center, and barbed wire overlays the Torah to remind us of the Holocaust and all the hardships that continue in this life. Still, the sheaves of grain, wrapped with the prayer ribbons, the Omer offerings to God, remind us that even at times of great trauma, God is with us. This promise becomes clear in the final window with the 12-branched tree of life, showing the eternal existence of the 12 tribes and the eternal light rising above it all. Although the Torah, the Word of God, comes to an end, the Nishtar lines continue past it all, bringing their goodness and hope to the future generations.